Hello, hello. Okay, let's get TikTok on too. Oh, wait. Hello and welcome. Welcome TikTok. Welcome YouTube, everybody. Okay, so today we're talking about fear. Why I decided to talk about fear today is because we're in the middle of changes, really huge changes, and not everybody can cope with them as easily as you would think. Ideally, we should have just embraced the changes and be like happy that they're coming, but obviously, it doesn't happen like this for everybody. So, welcome, and let's talk how to convert fears into something else, into power, because you can't really, as a Reiki master, I can tell you 100%, you can't live, develop, and expand yourself if you have fears. I mean, you will always have fears as long as you know how to cope with them. If you don't, you will always like stay in one place, someone to say. So it will be very hard to move forward. So fear is something that needs to be dealt with. Now everybody has different fears, and I will tell you when was the first time I felt fear. It was when I was little. I was probably like, I don't know, 6 or something. Me and my younger brother, we were going to the river. It was summer, and we had a break, and we went there, and we basically on our way to the river, I saw a little snake. It was like a little black snake. It obviously it's harmless, but for me, that snake was something unusual, something I never saw. I never saw an animal that would be crawling on its own belly. So for me, for my perception, it was a threat, and I was like almost paralyzed. I was just staying there and staring. The snake was even more scared than I was. It like moved really, really fast. But for me, I mean, I couldn't move like for like few minutes. I remember my brother basically just grabbed me to so I could move. Now he, for some reason, was not scared. Maybe because my parents told him about it or something like that. So since then, I'm afraid of snakes. And how did it started? It started with me. With my perception not being able to grasp what it was. I mean, I knew that there was snakes. I was already like 6 years old, so I obviously went to a kindergarten and I was reading the fairy tales and everything. So I knew there are snakes. I just never saw them myself, and I never saw lizards or anything like that that would crawl on the belly. Since then, I don't like snakes. Now, fear, I'm going to tell you from an energetic perspective. Fear is your body defending you from something else. Fear is always a defense mechanism. Now, you can't constantly defend yourself and constantly look for some kind of threats. Obviously, you need to live and you need to experience your life. You need to experience things. You need to look into things. So you can't really live in a constant fear. That would not be right. Not would be not It would not be right for your consciousness. Your consciousness wants to develop. So but it is something that you have. So this is what happened. Mm, you have an energy. So you have, let's imagine, energy field like this, and let's imagine it's 3 meters. So we'll take like an average one, and this is how big it is. It's filled up with energy. Now when the energy depletes in that aura of yours, you become vulnerable. Once you become vulnerable, you could not really protect the borders of your aura. It's normal. That's how it is. It's not something. It doesn't have to be necessarily fear. It could be something else. Now when you become you have a lack of energy and you could not really defend your aura, your mind start looking for threats, like somehow to protect you, because you don't have enough energy to withstand the threat. And this is absolutely normal. Now, if you have a lot of fluctuations like this in your aura, if your energy drops, goes up, drops, goes up, then you will have more fears and more anxiety. Now, the masculinity is always more anxious, femininity is more scared. So fears are usually more common in feminine, in people with dominant feminine energy. So now, once your energy will go back up to fill up your aura, you don't really need protection no more, because you are able to keep to defend your borders without even doing anything. As long as your energy is filled up, you don't need to really defend your borders. So once you have enough, then the fears will go away. And you probably notice when you are super high on life, when you are like really feeling great, you hardly ever fear anything. Or when you are on some kind of stimulants like alcohol or coffee, so you basically borrowing the energy from outside, and that borrowed energy defends your aura from the, so you borrow it from outside, defense from the inside, but then it will go away and you become vulnerable again, and again you start you will start having issues at one point because your mind will start looking for the threats again. In my culture, there is even a saying: the ocean is still the knee to the drunk person. So when you're drunk, when you're under some kind of influence, you're not afraid of anything because you have this borrowed energy that defends your aura, and you become extremely kind of adventurous because you have no fear. Your aura is defended with the borrowed energy. Now, today I'm going to tell you how to deal with energy, not only how to get rid of fears, but also how to convert fears into your power. Because fear is actually a very powerful emotion if it's converted to something more lucrative and something more um, something that you can use, so to say. Now, again, everybody has fears. There's just, you could not avoid them. This is just a part of your mind. The mind has to kind of defend you from something. And I want to mention you that you are more prone to stay in fear than to stay in some kind of happy emotion. So, for example, if you're happy, if something happened and you're super excited, super happy, you will be happy for maybe 2 minutes. I think it's 2 minutes, 18 seconds. But in fear, you can stay for years. And I know people from my childhood that have this weird fears that they never could overcome, and they basically live in those fears. Like, for example, a long time ago, I had a classmate who used to be in school together, and she believes, she's afraid to travel, so she never left the place where she was born. She's always there. She has an absolute fear of traveling. At first, she was saying that she's afraid of flying, and then she's afraid of, I guess, buses and everything. So it's up to you how long the fear is going to dominate your life. But once you overcome that border, I mean, you can become really successful and really fortunate. Now, I'm just loving the shadows in the back of me. I'm not sure on YouTube there at least. Um, uh, Me and fear, we have a long story, so to say. Why? Because I'm a very feminine, and therefore I had a lot of fears all my life, and I still occasionally get them. Lucky for me, though, I'm a Reiki master, so I work with energy. I know how to work with that. I know when my fear is, when there is a fear in me, and what to do. And I will tell you what to do as well, because I mean, I mean, this is what I'm here for. But I always had fears. Those fears were nothing substantial, except for the snakes, the weapons, and the flying. I never really had such a crazy fears. With flying and weapons, I just did what everybody did. I learned everything about weapons. I even was going to the range and I was shooting. And about the flights, I learned how safe they are technically, and it was amazing. So I stopped really. Thank you, TikTok. And so I stopped having those fears. With snakes, I actually went to couple places where there are snakes, and I was observing them, how they live, so I understand. I also, that fear gone. But there are fears that arise in me on certain occasions. I mean, depending on the situation in life. Now, a long time ago, though, I heard this saying: everything you want is on the other side of your fears. And I was I can't believe now what I will not have whatever I want because I have fears. It does make no sense. So I took some time to work and find the way of how to conquer those fears. So before, I used to fight fears. Now I don't fight. I will tell you what I do. I convert them. It's different. When you fight in something, you probably will lose. But if you convert something, it's much easier and much smoother process. So, and you should now. You I already mentioned fears are strong and feminine people, anxiousness is in masculine people. Why? Because femininity is more inside, so they kind of find this threats outside. Masculinity is more outside, so they're more anxious. They want to do something. They want to fight somebody. They basically they're ready to fight those threats. So masculinity, if you have a lot of masculine energy, chances are you don't have that much fear. You probably have anxiousness. That's different. But fear is mostly in feminine people. Masculine people also have fears, just not as much. Um, Now, I don't like fears in my clients. I have clients and they do have certain fears, and this is the first thing that we usually overcome. Why? Because fear is something that holds you back. Fear and depression. These are two emotions that I'm really very much against. I would rather people be angry or I'm not sure, or like super emotional or crazy. I don't know, like let them shout, let them do anything as long as they are not in these two emotions. Why? Because depression is something that holds you like in a swamp. You're not developing, you're not moving anywhere, and this is always bad, obviously. And fear is something that kind of shrinks your energy. So if my aura is, let's say, 3 meters wide, mine is probably wider, but let's imagine if my aura is 3 meters wide um, and now I have fear, it will shrink. It will shrink to the level of energy I have right now. So if today, let's say, I wake up and I have fever, and obviously I don't have enough energy, um, I will get in some kind of fears. Maybe somebody will say something, somebody will mention something, and my energy will just shrink like this. Why it's shrinking? Because of the fear. Because there is not enough energy to hold the borders of my aura. I will kind of expand my energy again, but why would you be doing the same? Why would you be doing this extra work again and again? It does make no sense. So um, I would rather for all of you have different kind of feelings. I would rather you have some kind of, I'm not sure, I would rather you fight or something, feel angry than to have fear. Now, what do you need to do though? We came here to learn how to turn the fear into power. So you need to turn your fear into excitement. And hear me out. Fear and excitement are on the same line. So it's like good and bad. It's on the same line. It's just opposites. Fear and excitement are also on the same line. It just fear is very little energy, not enough energy. Excitement is a lot of energy. It's overflowing, so to say, energy, and it's up to you to convert fear into excitement. I'll tell you how to do that. But it's always the same. It's on the same. So if you feel fear about something, you can feel excitement about that same thing as well. Now, why would you feel so? Fear is basically fear is always about you because you defend in your aura. Remember, excitement is always about the experience. Now, when your aura is defended, when your aura is protected against everybody, you can explore, you can have an experience. Now, when your aura is not defended, you're defending yourself. So let me bring you an example. For example, I have a fear of let's imagine I have a fear. What kind of fear could I have? Let's imagine that I have a fear of not being able to pay for my phone. It's not that much, but let's just for the example. So let's imagine I have a fear of not being able to pay for the phone. Now, why do I have a fear? Because I'm thinking about me, about what I cannot do, and I could not, like, it's me. Will I have enough money to pay for the phone? What would be the experience? The experience would be I'm paying for the phone and enjoying the phone and what the phone brings to me. This is how I convert fear into excitement. I remove the focus from me to experience that the phone gives me. Or for example, I'm afraid that I will eat a whole pie and I will gain some pounds. I'm not sure. Instead of me thinking that I will gain the pounds or that I will be sick tomorrow, I should focus on the experience and feel the excitement that, my God, I will eat such a delicious food. So it's always, you need to convert the fear into excitement. This is how you do. To uh, to make your fears powerful, you always need to convert them. Remember, fear is a suppressed power that is in you. It's just you are not sure how to use it. And you should know how to use it because it gives you a lot of power. Now, I even put here, excitement is always thinking about the opportunity. Fear is always thinking about yourself. So if you have fear, it's always towards you, not towards something else outside. It's not towards experience. And I put here, getting rid of fear is easy. You need to stop focusing on self and start focusing on experience. Like I just made an example. Instead of thinking, I'm going to be sick tomorrow if I eat the whole pizza by myself, you can start thinking, I'm going to have delicious pizza and I will just enjoy this, the crust, the cheese, the toppings, the everything. And it will be just amazing evening with me, cheese, and with me, pizza, and maybe Netflix, like that. So always, you need to always focus on experience. Experience comes from the above. Fear is always in here, and it's understandable. All right. So usually you start having fears when your energy is low. I already said that. And why does it happen? Because often you don't feel like self-worth or your self-love is low, your self-worth is low. Why? Because you not always believe that you deserve something greater. So this is where the fear comes from. First, your energy gets smaller, then you need to protect the aura somehow, and your mind starts looking for the threats. This is how the fear come out. Fear is always unknown to your perception, like it was with me and the snake. Since I never saw anything crawling on its belly, when I saw the snake, my mind thought it was a threat. Now, why would that was a threat in that particular situation? Because I didn't have enough energy to protect my aura. Now, if I would be with my parents, with my mom or with my father, with both of them, I wouldn't have the fear because when I was a child, they were the one that were protecting my aura. You see, I would never had that. I would never have that feeling, and probably I would never be afraid of snakes. They probably will tell me, "Well, Anastasia, this is a snake. It moves like this. It's harmless, absolutely. It won't do nothing to you. You don't need to worry about it," like that. So you see, I didn't have the protection of my aura, so something unknown was a threat, and my mind basically caught on it and created this fear in me that became a little phobia until I transformed it into not phobia. Right now, if I would see a snake, I mean, I would be surprised. I live on the beach. It would be very strange to see a snake here, but I wouldn't be scared. I would be like, okay, fine. So how to do, if you do have problems with self-love and self-worth, please do watch the video, Allow Yourself the World. I'm going to put it in the description of this one. And let's go through the steps of how you're going to convert the fear into the excitement, of how you're going to make yourself, of how you will make yourself powerful. Let me tell you, repeat again, you will never be able to conquer the world and to become really, really strong and powerful if you will not learn how to go into your fear and convert it into something else. The fear will hold you. The fear is not like positive emotions. The fear will hold you for months and months and months. For example, I had a client who was socially awkward. She was afraid, basically. I don't even know how she started working with me, but she was afraid to go out and to meet new people. She wanted desperately to have friends, but she was afraid to meet people. And she would just sit sometimes. She was working from home, so she would just sit sometimes at home for months. She would order everything online and would never leave the house, not even to go to the gym. So obviously, when I started working with her, I was like, "Look, you socialize with me right now. I'm helping you. I mean, I'm a nice, pleasant person. You working with colleagues, and most of those colleagues are nice. So I basically turned her fear into excitement. And thankfully to that, thank you to those couple sessions that we had, she was able to kind of to get out and start experiencing little by little life. She even got some friends too. Now, but what if she wouldn't? Then she would forever be stuck in her apartment. I mean, never developing. This is just not right. All right, so what do? The first thing you need to do, you need to find the situation that you have fears about. It has to be a particular situation. So it can't be, it needs to be precise. You see, if you just woke up and you're feeling like strange, like there is some kind of fears, you're scared of something, you need to find what it is, because you need to change that something. So for example, what could that be? I don't know. You're going to work and you're afraid that your boss is going to be in a bad mood, and the boss will be hard on you and your colleagues or something. Now, what are you exactly afraid of? Are you afraid that it would be unpleasant work day? Are you afraid that your boss will, I don't know, will say something mean to you? Like, what is the fear there? And you need to find, it has to be a precise fear. Maybe you're afraid to go to your job because I don't know, you're afraid to be on the street, and you're afraid that something will fall on you. I mean, I'm not sure, but you need to find it. It has to be precise. It's always in a patterns. It comes from somewhere. Usually we have the same fears about the same kind of situations. It's always the same for every person. It's similar. It's always usually the same. Now, there you see, I even put here, fear is something you are not sure whether you can handle, whether you have enough energy to handle. For example, let's imagine you have a fear of paying rent right next month. I met somebody and she was like, like I don't even know. So anyways, it was so funny. But then she actually was not scared. She was saying that she was afraid, but she was not afraid. So what was her fear? Was her fear that she would not be able to pay rent because she doesn't have enough money, or she is not sure how to pay? Should she pay through Zelle, or maybe through some kind of rental portal, or I'm not sure. Now then, what you need to do, once you will find the fear, you need to focus on the experience. So for example, you're going to work and you're afraid that your boss is going to be in a bad mood. You need to find excitement in that. You're going to work and you need to feel excitement. You need to feel excitement about your boss, about the whole situation. If this is exactly what you're scared about. Now, if you are scared about I don't know, that you will have different clients, there's no point really to feel excitement about the boss. You need to feel excited about the clients. So that's why the fear has to be precise for you, not for me, not for somebody else, but precise for you. And you will be surprised. People do have different fears about different situations. The fears that I have about something, others like have completely different. For example, I'm manager of water, so my focus in life is security. Now, somebody energy of air, they are so non-attachable that their fears will be opposite to mine. So, for example, if I'm dating somebody, I might have a fear that the guy will leave me and I will lose the security. Somebody energy of air might be afraid that the guy will get too attached and will never live, and they don't want to get attached. You see, so it's the same situation. We just have different fears. Me and another person will have different fears. So you need to find what exactly scares you. What is your trigger in that experience? So then you need to focus on the experience. Like in the situation with the rent would be that she's able to live in this amazing apartment. I'm really not sure where she lives, but somewhere, I guess, here on the beach too. So she lives in an amazing apartment with the amazing amenities, with amazing people around, and she has the beach, the sun, the whatever else. So instead of focusing on how she's going to pay rent, which is on her, she's going to focus on the experience that she is living in this amazing place. You see the difference? One is squeezing her aura. Once she starts focusing on how I'm going to pay my rent, her aura is basically just just shrinks like this. It becomes smaller because she's scared. You see, she's removing the energy. Now, once you will start feeling, oh my God, I'm living in this beautiful place. It's so amazing. Her aura will just expand. It's always like this. Excitement expands. Fear shrinks. Um, Condense. There it is. That's the word I was looking for. Now, for people who have, if you have a lot of fears, and I know a few of those people don't know how they live honestly, you need to write them all down. You won't be able to turn excitement to all of them. Remember, you lived many years in this particular state, of fear. Now, you need to take it slow, like me. At first, when I started working with my fears, I didn't know what to start with because I would wake up and I already was scared. I go to work and I'm scared. Like I would push myself because I had to do that, but I was scared all the time. So I basically had to work little by little. That was my mentor. She told me to do. I basically was writing down throughout the day. I had a little note, like a little notepad, and I would write down every single fear that would arise. For example, I had a fear that I would get on that time I was still taking a bus in New York City, and I was or train, and I was afraid that I will get on the train and there won't be like no place for me to stand or to sit. I mean, it's really strange. I mean, but still, I had that fear. I had that fear that I would stay there uncomfortable, something like that. I noticed it. It was just it was strange, but still. Or I had a fear that I would get in the rain and I wouldn't have an umbrella. Also strange. I'm remembering these fears, and they're all very very weird, honestly. Or I had fears that one of my clients would be very unhappy. My clients in the finance career, like so I would write them all down. It would be very strange for me to convert them right away. I didn't have enough energy. Not only enough energy, I didn't have enough consciousness, enough acknowledgement to kind of to face all this fear. So I would just write them down little by little, and then I would work on 2 or 3 of them every single day. So the ones that were repeating all the time, I would start with them for the most part. So since I was going to work and I was taking the train every time, I would turn the taking the train as an excitement. The funny thing is, once I conquered that fear, it was like a very mild fear. It's not something deep rooted or something. Once I conquered it, I decided it was time to have a car. I was that another fear that I had, that I would never find a parking. And if you ever lived in New York, you know how it is. It's always a hassle to find a parking. So I started having a fear that I would not get a parking. Then I would start having fear. What if somebody would break into my car? I mean, you just live with all this and you convert them. Now, once I converted everything with the car, I moved to Miami, and here I have a designated covered parking that obviously my car is protected, and I always have. So you see, once you get in through your fears, there is always something better. Now, so for the people who have a lot of fears, you need to write them down. Why? Because your mind is so chaotic, it's very hard for you to catch the fear right away. You need to, no, not even like this. It's not only hard to catch it right away, it's also hard to work on them all because you will feel overwhelmed. So write down one by one. As you can do it in notes on your phone, or you can do it in like I had a little, not like this, but even smaller, and I would put it um, in my purse. From on one side I used to write gratitudes, on the other side I used to write fears, and this is what I used to do. So I would write them all down, and then so this is what you need to do. If you have a lot of fears, write them all down. Do not try to work. Do not try to convert every fear into success. Work on the most urgent ones. Once you will work on them again, that situations will leave you. Like that was with me in the trains. Once I was absolutely excited to take the trains, I decided to get a car. Once I was absolutely excited to have a car in New York, I moved to Miami where I had a parking. You see, I also had a huge fear about homeless people. Not even, it was like a mixture of fear and kind of desperation. I'm not sure what it was. And I already told the story. Once I kind of started admiring one of the homeless people where I lived in New York. they disappeared from my life as well. So fear is something that basically teaches you it will disappear. That situation will disappear from your life once you will conquer the fear. Like me right now, I haven't seen a snake in probably 20 years, and the last time I saw it, I had an admirer, and he had a business, and there was an aquarium with the snake in there. That was like his decoration, and he would, oh my god, it was so gross. He would feed the little mice to that snake. But anyways, but I was already not. You see, since I don't have that fear, I really don't even meet snakes like that. But before that, I used to go. If, every time I go somewhere in the nature, there's always something crawling on its belly. All right. Fear and excitement is a state of mind, and if you think that you could not convert it, you can. It's basically a habit, and it can be changed, though it will take some time. I'm not lying to you. It didn't take me overnight to conquer the fear, but I was able to. Now, fear. I don't know whether YouTube sees me. Fear is always in here, the third chakra. Excitement is in the second chakra. So to convert fear into excitement, you need to push the energy down. Always put the energy down. I always tell this to you, and I will repeat. So when you feel fear, you need to. It will be like this. It will be like this. You could not breathe. It's like there is like a lump here, and that's because all the energy is basically rushing to save you. Now it's like a defense mechanism. You need to push it down to your second chakra, to your womb area. Even if you are a guy, you still push it to your womb area, and you feel excitement. For example, the snake, right? I'm afraid I will go right now to the beach and there would be a snake. Who knows what is over there on the sand, right? So I would walk and there would be a snake. Instead of feeling fear, I would start feeling excitement. I would go against myself. I would be like, uh, I would hold the energy in the second chakra, and I would be like, I'm so excited I will see a snake. If I see a snake, I will be so excited, like this. I would hold the energy there. I would never allow it to go up to the third chakra. I will push it down. You can even push it to the root chakra, to your tailbone, to feel even more secure. Excitement, though, is in the second chakra, or in the fourth, in the second, most definitely. Now, let's imagine you have a fear connected to an event. You're invited to a birthday party, and you're afraid because you go in there, you don't know anybody besides the person whose birthday it is. So you are socially awkward, and you're afraid that you will not impress the people that you. I had somewhat similar feeling. Not that I was afraid of people. I was because I'm an introvert. I was thinking, oh my god, everybody's going to be annoying. So I always had these fears about some kind of events with a lot of people. So what do you start thinking? You start thinking, oh my god, I'm so excited. You push the energy down to your second chakra, and then, oh my god, I'm so excited. I will meet new people. I'll talk to them. Who knows who they are? Maybe I can learn something new. Maybe I can I can make friends like this. And this is basically and this is how you convert the fear. You will see the fear will step away. You could not have both, because fear and excitement are on the same line. You could not have both. It was either one or the other. And it's up to you to choose whether you want to expand, or getting smaller and smaller, and condense your energy to the point where it shouldn't be. It's up to you. So ideally, you should feel excited about everything. No fear. Again, I'm talking only about fear. I'm not talking about any other feelings, the procrastination, depression, everything. It's in a different video. The video, I'm going to put it in the description of this one. In this, we're talking about fear, and only you can convert fear only into excitement, nothing else. If you convert fear into happiness, it won't work. You can feel happy about something, but it would be somewhat excitement. If you convert fear into strength, like for example, okay, so I'm scared to skydive, but I'm going to do it. This is more masculine approach. This is how you cope with anxiousness. You go into this kind of anxiousness. Fear is always excitement. This is feminine approach. Please do keep that in mind. And the last thing that I wanted to say is fear will hold you down. It condenses your aura. It is very beneficial for your mind, but your mind is not really on your side when it comes to changing and to developing and to growing. Your mind is there to protect you. Remember, the mind doesn't care if you will sit in the same spot your whole life, as long as your body is basically safe. That's it, you know. Yeah, it could be maybe destructive to sit in one place. You need some exercise, you need good food, but as long as you are alive, for the mind, this is the main thing. So the mind is not on your side when it comes to development, unless you train your mind to be on your side. But for the most part, the mind is your inner parent that is basically making sure um, that you are safe and sound, and nothing else is happening. The mind is looking for threats, and it's up to you to tell your inner parent that there are no threats. There is only excitement. You know, when you were a teenager and you were selling some kind of idea to your parents, like for example, I'm going to go for a sleepover at my friend's house, and your parents would be like, "Are you sure? Is it a good idea? I mean, are you going to save them?" I mean, and you tell them, yes, absolutely, her mom is going to make us cookies and we will watch the movie and something. Even if you're not going to do that, you're still selling your parent the idea. You're selling the idea that it's going to be amazing. The same you're doing with yourself right now. You're selling your inner parent the idea that everything is amazing. I'm going to the beach, and if I see the snake, it's going to be amazing experience. I will see the snake. I will be so happy to see it. I will feel excited. I will focus on the experience. Remember, in this, you need to make your mind trust you again with your decisions and know that you are doing only what is best for you and your body and your consciousness and your development. All right, that's it. Let me sum it up. If you do have questions, please do ask, or you can send them to me later on. So fear is always a destructive feeling. Fear is bad for you because it shrinks your aura. Ideally, every consciousness needs to keep the aura as it is. Um, so if your aura is like 6 meters or 3 meters wide, you need to expand the aura. So you kind of grow. Ideally, you expanding aura little by little. You're growing like this. Instead, very often, what happens? People are basically just shrinking the aura little by little, and by the time they become older, the aura is just so small, and this is not right. Your aura should always expand. It's no matter your age, no matter your house, no matter anything, your aura always should expand. To expand it, you need to fill up with energy. Why fear is bad? Because fear takes a lot of energy back. And if you live in the same society I live, you probably know that media is basically using the fear to kind of to make you weak, to make your energy smaller and shrink it just because of that, because they don't want you to succeed, they don't want you to expand. Now you can basically change it for yourself. So fear is never a good feeling. Fear will always hold you down, and I wouldn't want you to be a victim of that. So when your energy is weak, your mind is looking for threats, and basically that's where the fears are coming from, right? So once your energy is back to your normal 3 meters, right, the fear should naturally go away. So sometimes you wake up in the morning and you have this kind of fear, but then you had a healthy breakfast, you maybe went for a run or something, or you went to exercise, or you met with somebody, or you talked to somebody, and the fear is gone because your energy is back to your normal kind of aura. But if the fear is lingering, if it stays constantly, then this is obviously not normal. Now, how fear is more dominant in feminine people than in masculine. Masculine is more anxious. Feminine are more, they have fears. Phobias are just an exaggerated fear. It's just something that you need to conquer the same way. Now, fear, you can turn fear into power by turning it into excitement. And it's up to you. You basically need to do it purposefully. You see, if you would have a lot of energy, the fear will turn into excitement on its own. And notice when you are drinking alcohol, right, or taking something else, you usually want to do something. You're like, yeah, you never danced in your life, but when you drink a little bit, you're like, yeah, let's go dance. The fear turned into excitement on its own. You see, it turned naturally, even though the energy is not yours, it's borrowed. But you can, once the energy will run out, you will feel fear again. All right, so how to get rid of fear? You need to pinpoint the fear that you have. You need to make sure that it's precise to you, not to somebody else, to you. Then you need to turn that particular fear into excitement. How do you do this? You remove the focus from you to the experience. For example, I'm going to a birthday party, and I'm not going to think about, am I going to be awkward? Is nobody going to talk to me? I would, instead of me, am I good enough for this kind of crowd? I would start thinking, oh my God, I will meet new people. This is amazing. I will be in this, I'm not sure, I assume birthday party will be in some kind of restaurant. I will go to this restaurant. I will try their food. I will see how the ambience is, or if I've been to that restaurant, I'm happy to kind of to go back again. So I'm focusing on experience instead of me. If I would focus on me, the fear will stay. You see, so always focus on the experience. And that's how the excitement will appear. For people who have a lot of fears, write them all down, and work on the most urgent ones. So the most urgent and the most repetitive ones. The more the fear kind of repeats, you should work on that one. This is the fear that needs your attention right now. You see? So for example, I remember a long time ago, I had a fear, and it was like on and on and on again appearing. The fear that there would be some kind of destructive war and we all will die. I don't know where it was coming from. I mean, I live in a rather peaceful country, like in a peaceful city. At that time I was living like there was not, like, I'm not sure where this fear was coming, but it was coming. I was afraid that that we would just all perish. And so anyways, I was not in the best situation at that time, and I had this fear, and that fear obviously was not good. I should have focused, instead of me perishing and everybody else, I should have focused on something else. And you would say, well, how can you turn excitement into, if you're thinking about war, how can you turn it into excitement? You can turn it into, you can think about something else, like about, so if there is war, I mean, I will go to Brazil and sit there. So whatever you want, even if you will think about war and think excitement, you will just push the energy down and feel it in the second chakra, and you will feel excitement about the war. It probably will just go away. At that time, I didn't know how to deal with that, so I was suffering from it for maybe half a year. Then it's kind of naturally start disappearing little by little. Why did it start disappearing? Because there were some changes in my life, and I basically just couldn't focus on everything. I still having different fears. But if I was knowledgeable, that's what I would exactly would do. So anything, as bad as it could be, you're scared that your cat will die one day. I mean, cats don't live that long, right? 20 years, I think they live the most. I mean, just don't think about that. Think about the excitement that the cat gives you now, that you're enjoying with the cat, that that this creature is in your life, that you like can cuddle with it, and just enjoy it. So excitement, it's excitement. Even if you could not stop thinking about the death of the cat, I mean, start thinking about, okay, so the cat will choose to live. I mean, this is just normal. You could not grieve. Remember, in energy, you don't grieve. You basically say, okay, so if I wouldn't have a cat, then maybe I can get a dog, or maybe I can start traveling more since I don't have a cat. I mean, nothing would hold me down, kind of like that. So basically, it's really up to you, how to convert it into excitement. But it has to be excitement. Remember, you will not protect your cat from dying if you will feel fear. What you will do, you will make your and the cat's life miserable just because you fear it. So it's always better to turn everything into excitement. This is exactly what I do. I almost never have fears. I do sometimes when my energy drops, and then anything can trigger fear in me, honestly. Like anything. Yesterday I was in the ocean, I was swimming, and there was this grass, and it just basically touched my leg, and and I jumped, but I was very hungry, so my energy was low, and that's only because of that I got scared. You see. Now, if I would be really high on energy, I would not. Oh, good question. I would not. I would not. I would probably wouldn't even care, because one time there was a fish that really touched me, and I mean the jellyfish touched me so many times, and I really never care about that. Like if my energy is large enough to feel my aura and to protect it, and basically fear or excitement is on the same level. It's just a habit. It's either you're always in fear or you're always in excitement. Choose yourself. Successful people choose excitement. People that are not very successful choose fear, and it's up to you what you're going to choose. But it's a habit, and it could be trained. Really, could be trained. And the fear holds you down. So whether you want it or not, this is something that you need to work on. You want to be successful, you need to work on. The question is, how do you convert money fears? Amazing, my God! Me living by myself in United States. And before that, I was working since I was like 13, I think. I think I had these fears all the time. And lately only, I don't really have them that much. I mean, like sometimes they appear, obviously. But I want to tell you, if you think that you have money fears just because you don't have a lot of money, um, you will be wrong. I work with people who are very wealthy and they couldn't sleep because of the fears that were connected to money. Now, some of them were afraid that their investments will just burn out. Some of them were afraid that somebody will hack into their account and just somehow will just remove all the cash. Or some were afraid that somebody will scam them somehow and kind of I don't know, like moves their possessions into somebody else's name. Usually, these are people who are either weaker or older, whose energy is not enough to protect their aura. You see, that's why they have fear. So you will always have fear. Now, the same thing, you just need to convert it. As I was saying, if you are like scared that you could not afford, I don't know, let's say we live in the United States, medical bills. If you are afraid that what if I will I don't know, if something happens and I won't be able to cover the medical bills, then you need to convert into excitement. So, for example, um, I'm so excited that I'm so healthy. Thanks God, I don't have issues with my health like this. And if you think that you will jinx yourself, that won't. It's not the issue. It's not. So basically, you shouldn't think about how you will do it, but what is the experience right now? Right now, you have a healthy body for the most part. I mean, and that body is functioning well, so you enjoy the experience the body gives. How you converting, you removing the focus from what you can do. Are you good enough to cover that bill, to your experience right now as a person? Everything else. So, for example, you're afraid that you won't have enough to I don't know, you want to buy a particular shoes, and those shoes cost some. Like me right now, I'm eyeing some, but I'm waiting until Venus will become direct or move. Oh, okay, perfect, moving. Me right now, I just moved. So if you don't have, and for those who are not from Miami, you must know that you need to like I think like at least like a few thousands to move comfortably. So again, if you have that kind of fear of money, you basically need to start thinking not about the money, but about how you will feel in another place, how amazing it will be, how you will enjoy the place. You must like something about the place. You will have access to the beach, or maybe access to the pool, to the gym or something. So you're focusing on the experience. You could not think about the money. I'm telling you from my own experience, I was traveling the whole year, and sometimes I was thinking like this, especially certain places like Italy. I don't know what was the prices there on the apartments, and I was in the beginning. I was a little scared. What if I wouldn't be able to? What if I will go out of my budget? I really didn't my budget was approximate, but some apartments were like 5,000-6,000, and I obviously didn't want to pay that much. So I was focusing on the experience. Okay, so if I'm staying in Naples, then I will go here and here and here. I was excited. The excitement was expanding my aura, and I was able to find apartments that were in really amazing areas, really amazing apartments for a really good price. Like till now, I'm surprised. So always fear into excitement. And again, it's just a habit. You just need to do it again and again. Ideally, what you need to do, ideally, you need to have a strong aura. If you have enough energy to fill up your aura, you will never have the fear. But because, like for example, if I drink coffee and eat something sweet, my energy will go up. That's borrowed energy. Then it will drop because the energy is borrowed. So, of course, so so I will not have enough to protect my aura. After that drop, I will feel a little weak. I might get a fear or two here and there. I know though that once my energy is back, I will maybe eat a good meal or drink some water. My energy will kind of get back to its normal, and I will not feel fear again. Now, all I need to do is just turn it into excitement. So it always works the same. Always turn into excitement. It's really the habit. All right, I think that's it. It comes with everything: the money, your family. These are the fears that are most common. So it's usually money, family members. We're always afraid of family members. Usually that happens not only when your energy is not enough to fill your aura, but it also happens when you are in the wrong role with your family. For example, you are mother to your sister, so you worry about her, and you're in the wrong role, so you start worrying about her as a mother. You start having fears about something, I don't know. So it's usually money, family, usually something about new experiences, usually something like that. So all this could be converted. I did it many times. I do it again and again all the time. I mean, otherwise I wouldn't be able to live and expand. And I do want to live and expand. And I always remember that everything we want is on the other side of our fears. So, I mean, me being such a practical, somewhat not even greedy, but I believe if I make an effort, I want to get a result. I'm not just making an effort just because I'm like this. I always look into like I wouldn't want the fear to stop me from receiving the results. I would not allow that. And if you will allow the fear to linger, it will shrink your aura, and your aura will not match to your desired reality already. And that's not what you want. You want to be expanded. For example, if I'm playing the lotto and I want to win millions of dollars, and now I will start having fears about money. I mean, my energy is so small that it doesn't even match my normal income. Like, let's imagine my normal income is, let's say, 5,000-6,000 a month, right? Now, if I have fears about money, my income will get smaller. Why? Because my energy shrinks. So my income from 5, 6 might drop. I can't even think about now winning the lotto because my energy doesn't correspond to winning the lotto. Winning the lotto, my energy should be bigger than my own energy. You see? So fear is really just a useless feeling that keeps you in shackles. It's like you have handcuffs and you could not move. You're doing the whole bunch of exercises, and then you have this fear raising up, and you're just like everything is in vain. So me being a practical kind of creator, and I work with energy, and I work with my what I eat. I exercise, I sleep right. I don't I don't indulge into any kind of substances. And I mean, I'm thinking if I'm doing all this now, some kind of fear is going to spoil it for me. No way, it's not going to happen. So I turn my fears into excitement right away, and all the time, every single day. As soon as the fear comes up, it's excitement. I don't care what it is. I frankly don't care. Whatever it was. The other day, it was like some kind of scammer was calling me something about something. It was obvious scam. But in the beginning, it was early in the morning. I was still waking up, and I answered. For some reason, I usually never even answer. And I was like a little scared because they sounded very convincing, and and I got a little scared. But then I remember, I'm like, Anastasia, we're not going to start the day like this. Turned into excitement. So I turned it into excitement, and and then I basically I called that number back. It's not even working number, so I understand that it's a scam. So something like this, I converted it very fast into something that works for me. So I do encourage you all to work on your fears. Your fear will stop you. You see, you can work on your energy all you want, but as long as this lingering stuff is in your aura, as long as you don't have enough energy to protect the soft walls of your aura, you will always have fears. And if you will not convert them, they will always be there. They will always hold you down. We want to be successful, so convert it into excitement, especially right now when there are a lot of changes on the sky. Please do send this video to everybody who might use it, who might have problems with fears, who is holding to the fears as to something. Like some people, the fears define them. Like they're holding on so much to them that you only know those people through their fear. Really. So send it to them. Hopefully they will be able to kind of to find their way out of this inner jail. And if you have questions to ask, I will gladly answer them. All right. Thank you everybody. I didn't even look TikTok. I don't think there was any questions. Thank you, everybody, for being here. The next live will be on Saturday at 11 a.m. We're going to talk about actions that you should not do in the relationship with, obviously, it's a woman with man, or actually, it's the same. So if you are a man, you can listen to it also. The previous one was, I hope you listened to the previous one. It was also about relationships. And the next one will be also. And then on next Wednesday, we'll talk about your place of living, because your place of living is also very important for your success and for your development and for your expansion. All right, that's it. Bye, everybody. Thank you for being here. And I will see you on Saturday. Bye, TikTok. Bye, YouTube. Enjoy your evening. Get rid of your fears. I want to hear all of your success stories.